Okay, boys and girls, the Junkman coming at you with another video, and this time I am just outside my garage. A brother in his garage productions has moved to a brother in front of his garage production. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because a lot of you guys have complained about not having a garage to work in. I can't work in a garage. I'm screwed because I don't have a garage. Okay, I understand that. So what I'm going to be demoing on this DVD is a product that the manufacturer says can be used outdoors. They even went as far as to say it can be used in direct sunlight. Now, I can use any product in direct sunlight because I know what I'm doing and I know how to work with it while it's fussing and fighting. But that's way more headache than I care to go through. So I'm not going to tell a novice to go do that, because if it's a headache for me, I can just imagine what a mess a novice is going to create. So that's why I wouldn't do it that way. But I'm going to demo this product, and I'm not going to do it in direct sunlight because I'm always going to tell you, just don't work in direct sunlight when you can afford it. They said to a degree, it can be done to a degree. So that right there, you know, that right there is a red flag. So work in the shade. If you don't have a garage to work in, work in the shade. The product that I'm going to be using, and I've already explained this on another part of the DVD, is a product by Optimum. And this right here is their Optimum Compound 2, the new improved formula. All right, so I'm going to be using their compound, and this would be equivalent to M105 for those of you who have watched my McGuire's videos. And then I'm going to be using Optimum Polish 2, their new revised version, and this would be equivalent to M205. Just like M105, it's spinning around there. Just like M205. All right. The concept is exactly the same. The speed that you work at, the amount of polish that you use, the amount of pressure that you apply, everything is exactly the same. The only things that have changed is the products themselves and the fact that I'm going to do this outdoors instead of indoors. Now, the car that I'm working on, it's a black Toyota Camry, and it is not in very bad shape. So I will probably have no need for Optimum Compound all over the entire car. There are only spots where I will need to use Optimum Compound. Most of the damage on this car can be fixed with Optimum Polish, and that's mainly what I'm going to be using on a white pad. Just like 205's on a white pad, the polish is on a white pad. And the compound would be used on an orange pad, just like 105 is used on an orange pad. So everything is exactly the same except for the polishes. Okay? After I get done with this, if I were to complete the entire vehicle, I would then at that point be ready to apply my sealant or my wax, or a combination of both, sealant first and wax later. I usually like to do a sealant and then a carnauba paste wax, because the sealant that I use, Midnight Express, or the what's the other one that I use, Midnight Express, which once I talked to the manufacturers, they told me it actually has a black dye in it. That's why they say it's great for black cars. Well, I tried it on a white car and it didn't discolor the car, so I called them back up and said, how's it for black cars if it doesn't discolor a white car? The deal was, they said that it fills in scratches, the white scratches that you'll see in black paint, it fills those in and makes those turn dark. Well, since I was dealing with a white car with no scratches on it, because I fixed all the scratches first, I didn't see that happen. So the Midnight Express is what I'm going to use on this car, since it's made for dark colored cars. I'm going to see if it actually does anything. There ain't going to be any scratches on the car, so I don't know what I'm going to see, but I definitely probably won't see anything as far as shine is related. You all know how I feel about wax and shine. So one more time, I'm going to be using Optimum Compound, Optimum Polish. I won't be using this that much, just various spots. Polish is what I'm going to use on the entire car. White pad with the polish, orange pad with the compound if I have to. And here's the big and, I'm also going to be showing two other products by Optimum. I'm going to grab them. One is called, whoop, better not drop it. Their Hyper Compound, and the other is called their Hyper Polish. Now, what's the difference, you ask? Well, look at that. They're in squirt bottles, whereas the other ones are in squeezable plastic containers. So, what's the difference, you ask? Well, one is more liquid than the other. And the way I'm thinking, if my logic is working correctly, the one that is more liquid is going to work better in an outdoor environment because it is not as thick as the compounds in the squeezable jars. Now, when I say work better, I don't mean fix the paint faster or anything like that. What I mean is it is not going to be as finicky. Where those of you who have worked with 105 outdoors and created this dust storm, that's the product being finicky. It didn't like the environment that you were working in. It didn't like the fact that you probably used too much polish. It didn't like the fact that you used the pad one day and then decided to use it again without cleaning the pad. You can't do that. That is a guaranteed way to have dust all over the car. So this Hyper Compound and Hyper Polish, by being in a liquid state, I'm thinking it's going to be more cooperative, working in an environment that I don't like to work in, which is outdoors. Even if you're in the shade and it ain't blazing hot outside, you got the wind blowing. As you watch this video, you're going to hear leaves blowing around. Well, when those leaves are blowing around, think of how big a leaf is. And let me just pick one up. This is the leaf. This is just one leaf from this tree that I have to deal with that's blowing around. Now look how big that thing is compared to the size of my head. Okay? That's how big this leaf is. If the wind can blow this thing around, guess how much dust is being blown around in the air? If you don't believe me, I washed this car before I brought it outdoors. And then I set up this video. So I got everything I needed to set up the video. Now, in that little time, turn you around and let you look at the top of this car. Look at that dust. Look at how much dust landed on the car in that little time. Why do you think I do not work outdoors? Look at that. That little time, that much dust has landed on the car. So let me turn you back around here. Okay. So that's another reason why I do not work outdoors, because you got the wind blowing, you can see the trees behind me, they're moving. Dust is moving. That's why I say when you wash your car and you drive it for one block, it is now dirty. Dust, even though you might not be able to see it real good unless you put your nose down in the paint, dust is landing on the car. So that's another reason I don't work outdoors. But I'm going to go against my rule just for the sake of this video, just to see if this company's product does what it says it does, and works fine outdoors. It's about 85 degrees outside right now. It's really more humid than it is hot. I'm in the shade. I'm getting the shade from the house next door. No, I'm getting that from the carriage, from my garage is where I'm getting the shade from. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a spot using the regular polish, and then I'm gonna do a spot using the Hyper Compound, and just let you see how they perform, see how well they work, and then you can come to your own conclusions. And if you decide to go out and get these products, at least you know they work or not. You're going to find out. All right. First thing I want to do, let me put you all on the spot that I'm working. Let's see here. Okay. That's the spot I'm working. I'm gonna clean me off an area. Now, I guess you know what I should do? Let me bring you all in and let you see what the paint looks like. And you're not gonna be able to see it real well as far as swirls are concerned, because the car is not really heavily swirled. But it has very minor swirls, but it has paint damage from me during doing the clean that I did. Now, see, this is funny. This shot right here makes it look like a mirror. It's gonna look 10 times better than that when I get done. But let me go over here and bank you all. Let me get close to the paint here. Let's see here if we can see it. Yeah, if I put the camera down there close enough, well, you can see the dust. Yeah, now you can see the marring. See all that marring? See, I'm gonna get all that out of there. But look at the dust, though. See, when I was way back here, looking at it this way, you couldn't see all that dust on the car. Well, let me get back in focus. You couldn't see all that dust on the car. You know, it's funny what you can all of a sudden see when you stick your nose down in there. But not only can you see the dust and dirt, but you can also see the marring damage. Okay, so let me get you back up here on the tripod. And I'm using my fancy Manfrotto mount that I showed in one of my videos. Flip the viewfinder around here. And let's see, I'm gonna be working in this area right here. So I'm hoping that everything stays in focus as I'm working. Yeah. So now I'm going to clean this area off, and like normally I would get out my California duster and knock this off, but because I'm going to fix it anyway, I'm about to fix this anyway, I'm not trying to prevent creating damage. I'm gonna just go ahead and wipe this dust off of here. See, I'm checking my towel to see if there's any dirt on it, because I don't want to wipe back and forth. So now that film of dust is very thin, but still I want that to be perfect. Okay. All right, so that little area is clean. See if I can keep it clean long enough to fix a spot on the car. And I'm going to be using, I could use a PC, but since I want to get done sometime today, and I'm finishing the entire car anyway, I'm going to go ahead and use my trusty Flex. For those of you who don't know what the Flex is, let me show you the label on it. It's the 7401 VRG Flex Polisher, German built. So I'm going to be using that. And since the Flex is going to use more polish, oh, another thing you want to do is shake these up really good before you use them. Since the Flex is going to actually use more polish than the PC, instead of going with my 3P size drops, if I was using the PC, I'd do my 3P size drops. But since I'm not using the PC and I'm using this Flex, I'm going to need more polish, because the Flex works the polish more than the PC does, so you need more polish because of that. So I'm going to put me a thin line of polish. It's supposed to be a thin bead, but I didn't quite get it exactly right. But that's what I'm going to use, and I'm going to work in this little area. First, of course, I need to prime the pad. This pad was clean last night. It's dry now, so I need to prime it. And by priming it, of course, I mean to spread polish evenly all around the face of the pad so that it's ready to actually correct some paint. So I've done that now, and now I'm actually ready to work. So here I go. Okay, I immediately could hear that that was set on the wrong speed. I want to be working at a speed of 5. I never work above a speed of 5. Here I go. Okay, now there is some very important stuff you need to notice about what I just did. Number one, notice there's no dusting. Number two, notice how long I worked the polish. That was some extremely long working polish considering the fact that I'm outdoors. Now, the polish has begun to flash. Let me point to a spot here. You can see, finger in focus there. Finger in focus, yeah, there you go. Okay, right here, the polish is flashing. It's telling me, hey, you've worked me long enough. So, I want you to notice that, but wow, that was a really long working time. Usually, polish ain't gonna let you work outdoors that long. So that was an extremely long working time. That polish was very friendly. It was very friendly. Got my blonde border-free towel from Zano. Of course, y'all know that's the only towel that I recommend for removing polish and wax, sealant off a car. Okay. And this stuff comes off the car unbelievably easy. Wow. Look at that shine. Now, I'm going to bring you all in and let you see it. That is remarkable looking. Good grief. That was outstanding. All right. So let me bring you all in. And this time, we're going to get real close to the paint again so we can see what it looks like. First, there's reflection, baby. All right. There's reflection. Okay. All right. So now, let's get down in the paint and see what it looks like. Okay. I don't know if you all can tell, but all those specks on there, that is actually the pearl in the paint. It looks like dirt and dust and everything. That is actually the pearl flake in the paint. This black car has blue pearl in it. So at around 6 p.m., when the sun starts going down and hit the car from the sides, the paint actually flips colors. And that's what you're seeing in there. Besides my dirty lens, let me clean off my viewfinder so I can get a better idea of what I'm looking at myself. All right. Yeah, that's better. But getting in there close, that's what you're seeing, that pearl. There it is. Well, you can really see it there. It actually looks like dust, doesn't it? So you got to get, I can't see it with my eyes. I have to use the camera to see it. Now, if I'm indoors with a lot of light on the car, I can see it. But the camera focus, I don't care how close I get to that paint, I'm not going to see that. To me, it looks just like this. This is how it looks to me. Well, that's what it looks like to me. That's exactly what it looks like. Compared to, let's see down here where I haven't buffed at. Get my focus back on. Or there's, yeah, you can still see the paint damage. Where's it at there? Okay, you can still see the difference in the paint damage from where the pearl is. And I've got this camera so close to the car that, I had to get that close just to show you what I see. Now, in the right light, that stuff will show up. Out here in this lighting, in the shade, you won't see nothing. You can't see the paint damage. And there's a video that I have out where I actually show how to be able to see paint damage. So you need to watch that video. But let me put you back on the tripod because we're going to try out the hyper compound or the hyper polish, and we're going to see how well that stuff works. So now I fixed this section here. I'm going to work on this section down here, and this time I'm going to use the hyper polish. All right, so squirt bottle. All right, so you never put two different types of polishes on the same pad. So because I don't want to do that, I'm going to go get a second pad. So hold on a second. Okay, boys and girls, I've got my another white pad. It looks pink because I left it sitting in some pink soap. So it's just got a pink stain throughout it, but it's a white pad. And I've got my hyper polish. Now again, you got to shake this stuff up really well and make sure you got it good mixed before you use it. So now I'm ready to squirt some on here, and I'm gonna show you after I squirt it on. Okay, I've squirted some on here. You really can't tell how much, but I gave it roughly 2 squirts, and now I'm looking at it. I'm looking at that polish you see on the car right there to see how much that was. By dabbing it, it gives me an idea. And as I look at that, I'm gonna say that was plenty. It was 2 squirts of the polish. And now I'm gonna start working this, and I'm gonna see how it reacts. Speed of 5. I'm using no pressure with the flex. I'm just letting the weight of the polisher do all the work. No pressure. There I go. Okay, again, notice how long the work time was. And that was with 2 squirts. When I immediately started working with it, I think I could have went with 3 squirts and got away. But here's the deal. Number one, it didn't dust up. And you will always, when you come across a seam, if you got too much polish on the pad or you're working in an unideal environment, when you come across a seam, bam, it'll throw dust everywhere. When you hit a ridge, bam, throw dust everywhere. So I'm gonna wipe this off, see how it wipes off. Man, this stuff comes off no problem. No problem at all. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That really looks good. That really looks good. Let me bring y'all in here and let you look at it. Okay, flip it over. Man, look at how blue that sky looks. Man, look at that. That's my favorite word. Look at that. It's all one word. You gotta learn how to spell it. Look at that. Now, this is what other people looking at your car are going to see. This is exactly what they're going to see, because they're not going to be down here like this staring at your paint unless they buying the car from you. You know, they getting that daggone close. You ask them what the heck they doing. But this is, I mean, I'm exactly 6 inches from the paint, and it looks like this. And that's the reflection I'm getting off buffing those 2 spots. One using the Optimum polish and the other using the Optimum Hyper polish. Okay. All right. So let me stick you back on the windshield here, and let's conclude this bad boy. Because by now, you all should have a clue. All right. Refocus you up here, flip the viewfinder around. Y'all know, because the brother in his garage, we don't do a whole bunch of editing. All right. Anyway, the light's getting dark. I'm starting to look a little chocolate on here. I ain't that chocolate, I don't think. All right, so that was pretty much it. It was just a quick demo, just to see if I could use Optimum's product, either their Hyper, which is a liquid version of their regular compound. So this is their Hyper compound, and this is the equivalent to that in a more liquid base. So they both do the same thing. This was just liquid, and this one's more thick consistency. This, like I said, should be a heck of a lot more friendly, user-friendly in an outdoor environment. Although they both worked, I didn't have any problem out of either one of them. But I'm thinking if you're in a situation where you got to work outside and it's hot, and the surface of your paint is hot, you're going to probably have a lot less headache with their Hyper polish than you're going to have with their regular or Hyper compound and their regular compound. You're going to have a lot less headache using those out there, because it's the compounds that really dust up bad. If you're making a polish dust up, then you're really doing something wrong, because most polishes don't dust up. So if you're going to work outdoors, man, I'm going to highly recommend those products. I didn't see a flick of dust anywhere, and I went across the seam and all kinds of stuff. So the lighting's going down. I'm starting to get more chocolate, so let me go ahead and call it a wrap here. If you have any questions, you can always hit me up at my email, since this video is not going to be on YouTube, so you won't be able to. Well, heck, you can contact me through YouTube too. Just jump on YouTube and send me an email. Of course, my YouTube channel is Junkman 2000. Shoot me an email, and for any of you guys with the DVD, I have no problem answering your questions, no matter how many they are. Of course, y'all know the rule. If you ask something that's on the DVD, I'm gonna say go back and watch the DVD. No, I ain't gonna answer your questions. So that's pretty much it. Optimum polishes. If you gotta work outdoors, looks like you found your polish. All right. Until then, this is the Junkman, shining out.